Ladies and gentlemen, a final call for Class 13 Lead Heifers, 325 kilos to 400. Catalogue numbers 1301 to 1305. If you could please present for marshalling. Ladies and gentlemen, I would also like to welcome you all to judging today, the second day of Beef Week at the Royal Queensland Show. I would also like to take this opportunity to welcome our overjudge today, Dr. Peter McGilchrist from Invergowrie in New South Wales. Peter is an Associate Professor of Meat Science at the University of New England. He grew up on a beef cattle property south of Tamworth in New South Wales, and his research revolves around ensuring global consumer satisfaction of Australian red meat. This research covers all aspects of beef and sheep supply chains, focusing on critical control points which affect the eating quality of meat from on-farm to the consumer, with a heavy focus on the relationship between production, genetics, and meat quality. Peter is president of the Australian Intercollegiate Meat Judging Association, where he has had a long association with the training of students in carcass judging. Peter is a member of the Meat Standards Australia Beef and Sheep Meat Scientific Pathways Committee and Eating Quality Program Manager of the Advanced Livestock Measurements Technology Project. Peter teaches undergraduate, rural science, agricultural and agribusiness students at UNE. He has mainly judged beef and lamb carcass competitions, most notably for the Perth Royal Lead Steer and Heifer competition for 10 years and the New South Wales Northern Schools Land competition in 2019 and 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to our ring today, Dr. Peter McGilchrist as our overjudge.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here at the Ekka today, judging the junior heifers first up and junior steers with you. As you probably heard, yeah, I like an animal when it's on a hook a lot more than when it's on a hoof. But anyway, of course, it translates from one to the other. So what I'm judging for today is really looking about the value of the carcass. So the value of this animal standing in front of us is all about the quantity of meat and also the quality of that meat. So it's really hard, of course, to determine the quality of the meat when they've still got their skin on. That's why it's much easier on the hook. But so that's what I've pulled forward here. So I'm going to talk about these couple of heifers we've left here at the back, and then I'll go forward and judge these ones at the front. So just probably due to the quantity of meat or the yield of these animals, I've left these couple down the back here. They're beautifully covered. They're well finished. Just the power or the amount of muscle through that hind quarter. This white heifer, she does have a good bit across the top line, but those heifers in front of her in the front line were a little bit wider, a little bit thicker through that top line. Same with the black heifer. You know, she'll be probably beautiful quality hanging up, but standing here today and looking at the quality, she just didn't have that thickness through the hind end or the depth through that across that top line. So that's why I've left these two in the back. I'll now go on to judge these front three. Ladies and gentlemen, tough glass for the first one in the morning, only little, but doesn't mean make it any easier. So these three we've got up the front are beautiful young heifers. You know, amazing that they've got the cover on them this early in life. So some of these are 9 to kind of 11 months of age, hitting this market. So we're really looking for around that 6 to 8 mils across rib and rump. And so the three have pulled up in front. The first place heifer, very, very meaty heifer, probably not the highest thickness or the biggest ribeye in the class. That's probably the black one there in third, but certainly full right through that loin and really deep through the hind quarter. The thing I liked about her is she combined that muscling with a good amount of softness as well. So she's really well covered right across that loin and over that whole hind quarter as well. So good fat right there, good fat even distribution in that heifer. So a credit to the exhibitor. The heifer in second, it really was a very, very tight class here between first and second. Very similar style of animal. Just didn't quite have the power across the top line. Now that's a tiny little difference between that first and second place, but also a beautiful heifer with good amount of coverage. Probably didn't quite have the cover right down the back leg that heifer in first place did, but a mighty heifer at that. This third place heifer, like when you get across the top of her, she's easily got the largest eye muscle in the class, probably the highest yielding in the class. Just didn't quite have that fat cover that the two in front of her had. So it would have been good another month is always good and sometimes, but that third place heifer you could just see could do with a little bit more fat down that lower hind leg just to really finish her off in terms of fat distribution. Really great class. Thanks.
Thank you, Peter. So the results of class 13 first went to steer heifer number 1305, which is a count of the Mono Craig Pastoral Company. Second goes to heifer number 1303, Davenport Scott. And third goes to catalogue number 1302, McIntyre High School. Ladies and gentlemen, parading before the judge now is class 14.
Yeah, I was saying then, I know a little bit, but not too much. You guys see a fella later today, he showed his cattle, and I didn't explain to me. So if you're thinking of questions now,
It's over there. There's porta potties over there. Yeah, there was some guns over there. I'm pretty sure it was either over there or over there. I didn't see the
Sit down. Wait. See the whole. Stand up real quick, Alex. See the doorway going kind of under the stairs almost? Yeah, I think the toilets are in there.
I was going to say that. Yeah, it's still more than there's a hole in the ground over there. I think that's the toilet.
Yeah. The doorway going down. Yeah. Where it's the stairs. You go up the walk over to up, and you like. Oh, and then go down. There's like a sign.
see the gate the cowboy fellas went out of the go up to where you're standing, and there's a walkway between the grandstand. That's the male grandstand. The females
Yeah, females are the side.
be nice and quiet.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you realise this, but could we have catalogue 1305 and 1303 back to the marshalling area there? We do require you for junior champion Led Heifer.
Ladies and gentlemen, another nice little class here of heifers. We're placing first to third there. So again, chasing that kind of 7 to 9 mils of fat on these heifers as we get a little bit heavier, are in that ballpark range. So the heifer we put in first here, She's got a power of meat in her, you know, right through from front to back. Very, very compact little animal. And I'm glad she let me get a hand on her because she's got some nice coverage through that rib and across the P8. In general, this class probably doesn't have as much coverage as that earlier class did, but this white heifer there, yeah, certainly did have some across that rib, and she could do with a little bit more fat cover down over that lower hind leg, but today she had enough to get her the win in the class. So yeah, really high yielding animal with good fat coverage as well. Second and third were pretty tough to split here today, I must be honest. So both nice heifers, you know, young for their age, only 10, 11 months of age, or at least that's what I was told. So yeah, really, really good growth, but and both had good coverage on that on the rib area. Probably lacked a little down on the hind quarter, both these animals. That second animal probably just had a little larger eye muscle area than the one in third, and a little more softness across that rump as well. So a little combining yield and coverage to a higher degree. The heifer in third, take nothing away from her, a very powerful heifer, very strong across that top line as well. Didn't quite have the eye muscle of those two above her, and didn't quite have that depth down through the hind leg as well, but I'm sure it'll still hang up very nicely. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to judging of the junior champion Led Heifer for the 2022 show. I call on catalogues number 1305, 130 and 1401 to parade before the judge. I would also like catalogues number 1303 and 1403 to stand by in case required for reserve. So, ladies and gentlemen, the winners of Class 14, Junior Led Heifer. First goes to catalogue number 1401, Count Hayden Beattie. Second went to catalogue number 1403, Scots PG College. And third goes to 1402, Scots PG College as well. We're now judging Junior Led Heifer in the show. While this class is being judged, could we ensure that we do have the steers for Class 16 up in the marshalling area ready to come out as soon as we finish this class? So if you're in that class, please make sure you have your steers up there for marshalling. Could we please have 1303s come up into the line?
Ladies and gentlemen, nice little class here for champion. Some top animals there at the top in champion and reserve champion, and pretty tough to draw apart. Very similar style of animals, and yeah, a credit to the exhibitors. The little fella who champion, he bred that animal, so a really great effort in breeding and showing your own animals. And I'm glad she's here in the ring with structure like that. But we're not looking at structure. We're looking at the amount of meat and carcass value in that animal. You know, for me, I'd love a paddock like that, or a pen in a feedlot like that. Just the amount of volume through that heifer. Really nicely presented as well. But, you know, from just behind the shoulders all the way through, she's square, she's deep, she's thick. You know, you're going to get a hell of a dressing percentage out of her, which is kilos on the hook and money in your pocket. So real credit to her. She was just, she got over this wide heifer, not really due to muscling, more so due to that fatness and even of cover right across that body. Both very young heifers, so both 9 or 10 months old. They've grown really well, and so the champion just had a little more even fat cover than this girl here. This one probably had a little more muscling than the front one, particularly in the shoulders and right down deep in that hind quarter. But with muscling comes the difficulty of putting fat over those areas as well. So she was just a little plainer in terms of not as much cover over those shoulder and butt areas. So just worry about that fat distribution a little bit, but still, you know, reserve champion heifer today, a credit to the exhibitors.
Thank you, Peter. So junior champion Led Heifer goes to catalogue number 1305, account Minto Craig Pastoral Company. And reserve junior champion went to catalogue number 1401, Hayden Beattie. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting that particular class was Mr. Ian Galloway from Roma. And Ian, as all of you would know, has a lifetime involvement in the Australian beef industry. And we do welcome him here today. He will be judging later on in today. So thank you very much for doing that for us, Ian.
I just realised you had oh my god, Isaac.
There are some little ones.
Ladies and gentlemen and paraders, we are looking for 1609, 1605, 1607 and 1601 to be required for judging this afternoon. And they're in this class now, so make sure you stay around for judging this afternoon, please.
every single one.
Yeah, so she's probably hungry. Huh? Yeah.
My dad's got one. So I got to, what, queue up, depends on how quick. And me and a bunch of fellow workers, like count. Well, we catch about 120, but we probably got to about 140. This is just tiny little crews. It's got about 100.
She was going to ask you, what would you get for a beef cow and a dairy cow? You get a beef cow and a beef cow. Sorry, not a dairy cow. Depends. It depends.
Oi, Ruby. Ruby. Which one's the male and which one's the female?
Does it matter? Okay. The beef cow is the heifer, and the dairy cow is the bull.
I'd say dairy. How do you know?
But I did.
Ladies and gentlemen, these kids do an amazing job out here, and so I just thought I'd talk to you about these ones I have left in the back line and why they're there, and then I'll go forward and judge those 6 I pulled up. This creamy calf here, an amazing animal, huge eye muscle area, really, really muscular, a heap of pound of muscle in him, weight for age, beautiful. Just like a lot more cover on that hind end, unfortunately, for that calf, but a beautifully muscled animal, just needs more fat coverage. No different to this black one here, also beautiful shape, well presented, beautifully clipped up. Would like to see a little more fat on this black guy as well to bring him up the front as well, because it's about having lots of muscle, but it's about having fat across that muscle as well. Fat is flavour in our meat. We need the marbling to go through that meat as well, and if we're not laying down fat on the outside, then we're sure not going to be laying it down in the muscle either, in that marbling depots. This red here, probably overpowered a little bit in both muscling and fatness. Could certainly do with a couple more months in the feedlot or on a feeder, just to really get fat right across that animal there. The little fella with the Hereford, great exhibitor today. He smiled at me the whole way around. I really appreciated that, and a beautiful little animal too that he's presented there today. Good fat coverage on this one. For me, just got a little overpowered in terms of the muscling of those in the front line in front of him. But yeah, really good and will probably hang up very, very well and nice even fat cover across that Hereford. I'd just like to see a little more thickness through him to pull him forward.
Yeah, we're back.
Another one. Wait, I already gave you a lollipop.
No.
In the bus.
As they stand, guys.
Thanks, exhibitors, this morning. First of the steers in the junior class. A tough group here. Yeah, gave me plenty of work to do. The steer I put on top today, led into the ring beautifully, and I thought, hopefully he's got cover on him because he looked the part. And you put a hand right along the loin and down over that rump, and he certainly does have that cover. Being in the light trades, we're only looking for 6 mils, so that's not a whole lot, and he certainly got that softness there, combined with that thickness right across the top loin, right into the back of the shoulders, and very thick, very deep, very square. Looking at really high dressing percentages and a lot of money in the young fella's pocket, which is fantastic. Beautifully presented animal. Beautifully fattened as well. The steer in second place, wasn't very far behind at all, and took me a bit of time to split these two red ones. And everyone think I'm a red fan today, but this calf, he didn't quite have the clip job on him, and you had to really look under the bonnet to see what was there. And when you get a hand on him, he's really soft. He's probably got a little bit more softness on that back end than that first steer. But enough softness there, but just didn't quite have the depth down through that hind leg and that power through the hind quarter that the one in front of him did. But a beautiful animal, and congratulations. The steer in third place was probably just a little overpowered in terms of strength across that top line and muscle down through the hind quarter. But take nothing away from this steer, I'd love a paddock full of them as well. A beautiful commercial animal. Every day, if you had a paddock full of them, you'd be happy as. So really nicely covered animal. Just didn't have the width and depth down through that hind quarter that the ones above it did, but still a really nice animal. The steer there in fourth place, when he came in, and he's got a bit of a bully head on him, but he doesn't have the fluff on him that the three above him do. But when you put a hand on him, he's got a power of muscle through that eye muscle area, and really well covered as well. So the more you touch him and the more you feel that animal, the happier I was. So yeah, got him into fourth place. And the two highly commendeds here at the end of the class, or in fifth and sixth, also great animals. So a bit different, similar muscling patterns between these two animals, and the difference was really in fatness there. So the speckle had a little less cover than the black. The black might just have a touch too much fat. I'm not quite sure, but that's why they didn't quite have the muscling in the hind quarter that the ones above them did. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter. We now go on to lead steer, junior lead steer category, class 17, which are lead steers 401 kilos to 445 kilos. So the winners of class 16, ladies and gentlemen, first was 1610, exhibited by Hayden Beattie. Second goes to 1604, exhibited by Downlands College. 1601 was exhibited by Inverell High School, which was third. Fourth goes to McIntyre High School. Highly commended, ladies and gentlemen, went to 1609 from Scott's PGC and 1605 from Tenterfield High School. Both received highly commended. Ladies and gentlemen, and teachers and participants in the paraders and junior judging for stud cattle, there is an error there, ladies and gentlemen. The actual stud beef paraders and hers competition actually says Tuesday. It is actually Saturday, following the champion of champions. So Saturday, following the champion of champions, as opposed to what the catalogue says or your book say, saying Tuesday. It is actually on the Saturday. So teachers and competitors in that, please be aware of that change. And young judges for stud cattle is on Friday after the finishing of stud beef judging. By the sounds of it, I did confuse a few people. The prime junior judging is on today at 12 o'clock. Is that correct? Following this. So the prime judging today is still at 12 o'clock. It is actually only the stud judging and paraders competition that we did change, did notify you of the changes.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for these exhibitors. A great class here today. These kids put a lot of effort into this, and the schools as well, and it's fantastic. It's a fantastic breeding ground for getting this young talent, enthusiastic, intelligent young people back into our industry. And it's exactly what we need, is to encourage them into an industry that's exciting, got plenty of opportunity, and plenty going on. And I'm sure these guys will go on to lead more than the steer, and they'll be leaders in our industry to come. So it's fantastic they're out here today, and it's great to be back at the ECA this year after 2 years off. I just wanted to have a quick chat about these four that I left in the back line. This red calf here probably just didn't have the fatness for me, and the muscling of those that got pulled forward. So, you know, a little too lean right across. Like a lot more cover there on that animal. It's probably only got, 4 or 5, 6 mils. We're getting up now in the 7 to 9 mil territory. So a little bit more on time on feed needed there. This second black calf, really nice calf, tall framey steer. There's not too much wrong with him. He's just come up against really good competition today in this class above him. So does have a lot of muscle. Could probably just handle a little bit more fat on that hind quarter. But yeah, really a lot of power through the loin, but dips off a little bit behind those shoulders as well. This white calf, beautiful calf. We talk about carcass value today, and that's all about the quantity of meat and the quality of that meat. Now this calf is going to have a whole heap of yield and high dressing percentage, everything like that. It's just lacking the cover for me today. A little bit of fatness there, a little bit more fat on that grey calf would have been fantastic. And this last orange calf, again, looks apart from the side and is wide across the top line, but really doesn't carry that muscling down through the hind quarter as well as the ones in front of him. So I'd like to see a little bit more muscling down in that. Not that I love topside steak, but I'd love to see it's all saleable. So I'd love to see more volume down through that lower leg.
Oh, you're the school. No, and you also
Just last year, I raised it. So
when he was just staring at the corner, I really noticed it. It's the one that's very No, but yes, no, that was the last.
Congratulations to the exhibitors of this middleweight class, juniors. Really tough class, really tied up here in the top line. Some beautiful animals, and look, you know, we talk about carcass value, and any of these up here are amazing animals. Hopefully they've got a whole heap of brothers and sisters at home as well that are doing the job back on the farm. But you'd be happy with any of these. It was really tight. I pulled these top two up. I wanted to have a look at them next to each other. Of course, they were at either ends of the arena when we were looking at them. But as this steer walks out here, the first place steer, get up. He really does combine muscling and that evenness of cover right across that carcass in a really handy little calf. Very square across the top line, very thick through the hind quarter. There's a hell of a lot of yield in that animal, and he's got some good cover too. So let's just hope he has a bit of marbling in there and finish off that carcass for us also. But really, really handy class, and a credit to the exhibitor. not very far behind at all is the steer we put in second place. So again, really well covered steer, and probably that's what got him in front of the third place steer, was his evenness of cover across both the rib and rump of that class. He doesn't have the muscling of the steer in third place or the top line, but he certainly does have that more even cover. So I really like that red calf, and he made his way into second place. This third steer, an amazing animal as well, probably the most powerful animal and the thickest through the top line and hind quarter in the class, and it was hard. But when you put a handle on that beautiful softness through that rib section, I'd just like some more cover over that hind quarter, unfortunately, in that calf, but hopefully, yeah, it'll give us kilos of beef all day, and just the evenness of fat cover put it in third. This calf in fourth, the black calf as you lead out there. Again, a very handy calf, an awesome commercial domestic animal. The beautiful across the top line, probably a little tighter in behind the shoulders than the three in front of it. Probably doesn't carry that muscling down through the hind quarter, but really evenly covered. So probably at the top end of the cover I was looking for, but really well covered, and had a fair bit of muscling as well, just not quite as much as those three above it. These two highly commendeds here at the end, again, both beautiful calves. I'd like to see a little more cover on this grey one. It's hard to determine exactly, but just didn't quite have very similar muscle patterns to that black one in front of it, but just didn't quite have the fat cover on it of those ones in front. So a little more time, but again, it'll be very high dressing and very high quality animal. And the little grey in fifth or sixth there, again, didn't quite have the volume and the yield or the quantity of meat in it as the ones above it, but a beautifully finished animal and well prepared animal. Credit to the exhibitors.
Thank you very much, Peter. Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of Class 1610. First went to catalogue number 6. Sorry, catalogue 1610 was the winner. Sorry. You got the wrong page, aren't I? That was 1701, actually. That was Class 17, and first went to class number 1701, exhibited by Downlands College. Second goes to 1702, exhibited by Scott PGC. Third went to 1709, Lehman Hannah. And fourth went to catalogue number 1706, Kingaroy State High School. Highly commendeds went to 1708 and 1702, which was exhibited by McIntyre High School and Downlands College. So presenting the ribbons in that last class there was Jennifer Guthrie. She's representing the Margaret Show Society with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now on to Class 18, which is a lead steer 1446 kilos to 1490 kilos.
Do any of you guys want to go sit in the group, please? So when you listen to the feedback when these girls are going, that's how really know what is great. Now this is feedback for so it might be very different when they're options for meat stuff. Have you heard any of the things I've been saying? Oh yeah, that's good too. So it's interesting when he said that the amount of cover when he walked to me when he walked past his special was really good. It'd be interesting to see how it goes because he's so he's got the muscle. I don't know if it's got the grams, but he does. Yeah, and some of the 5 wasn't enough. He's looking for and 5 is. So they must have not seen channels before, but they must have as you asked to walk forward. They're looking at a Barbie to go across the yeah. Where they start from, yeah. If you're asking me, what do you know? Not all day, so what is it? We're just going to see a few of these events, and then we're going to go past the horses and over there. And Brendan's got his in a brand new car park. They turn into the livestock zoo, and so we're going to meet that category and go and see his stuff. And then we'll probably the whole animal, and then we'll have a chance to do lunch, and then possibly we might be able to go to some. Did you pick the last one?
Yeah. I
thought the white one.
We got the first one.
The one that came second?
No,
Okay. Oh, good.
I knew straight away when she was shouting about that.
We've got a program for tomorrow for sales and we've got the option on tomorrow. But I'm just trying to figure out the one today.
Are you going to buy any this?
Last year was great. I'm going to bring it up.
We should start going to this.
No, it's too much of a position on and the transport.
It's too much work.
Well, I think there's excellent skills in it. I think the skills are probably not very well. two boys there. I know.
No, that's just they'll just stay there the time that's
cái link rồi. And then I went and did it again. Rode my bike the exact same day.
That must have changed.
At the moment in the ring, we have Class 18, which is lead steer 445 kilos to 490 kilos. Just a reminder, if we could have 1610 and 1604 along with 1701 and 1710 up at the marshalling area, I've got the nod, they're already there, so that's good. And we will require the winner and second place getter out of this class to go back around there too, please.
Can't believe you got in trouble with me. It's just saying Harry Potter. Not like sound of like
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for these exhibitors. A big class and a beautiful, beautiful class as well. Really tough to pull these top ones out. I'll just talk about the ones we've left out at the bottom here. Yeah, because these exhibitors are the future of our industry, and they're breeding some good calves here as well. This little Red Angus on top, he could jump right up there in the carcass class and win this. He might be really highly marbled or something like that, and he is a young calf and he's grown well. And, we measure our cattle in kilos, not in centimetres, and look at the height of him compared to the rest of them in his class. So he's thick, he's heavy. He's just probably, in terms of his fatness, carrying a little too much for me today compared to the ones that pulled into top line, but a really handy little Red Angus calf. This white calf of power and muscle, I would have loved to have pulled him forward. I liked him when he walked in the ring. Really strong through that top line. I'd like to see a little more length in that, and certainly a little more fat cover over that hind quarter would be awesome in that white calf. Another month on feed and that animal will be fantastic. This black calf here, a bit the same. So power and muscle through that top line, really nice. You look across the top wide and thick right into those shoulders. But again, just lack that cover over the rump and down through that hind quarter that I was looking for today. The little grey, awesome effort bringing them into the ring as well. A really nice calf, and on another day I'd probably pick up a ribbon here. But today there's a power of animals in front of it. Nothing too wrong with this animal. Probably could take a little bit more fat coverage on that hind quarter as well, and a little longer on feed to put a little more fat. Now we're getting up into these higher weight categories. The speckle, I like the speckle. He's thick. He is covering probably the most fat in the class, and the other little guy in the end just didn't have the power along the top line on that eye muscle area that some of the others did, but beautiful shape and beautiful coat as well. The little black guy at the end, again, was overpowered in terms of muscling today, fell in behind the shoulders a little bit and just didn't carry that yield or the quantity of muscles that I was looking for to pull him up into that front line. Now for the tough bit.
yeah. Actually, good more size. So you go to that. Those like water streets. want to do one of those, and you get like cans of sauce, so you go to the cheeseburgers and take off the meat, the cheese, the onion, you take off everything except for the sauce, and then get rid of like fat, and then order one cheeseburger. You get that one cheeseburger for free. The rest of it, but you have to pay for sauce because all the like the meat and stuff that everything you've taken off, it adds up, so you get a cheeseburger for free. Some bloke was going to me, he was like, oh, because he was just what, Gary doesn't like it? No, Dave, Jack's dad.
Yeah, so
His son, he messed it out with it, and he's, yeah, let's go with it. And the free cheeseburger, but he thought like, but Macca's, if they continue to close it, catch up, apparently they pay. What? But they just. You got mine again, and yeah, it's either 9 or 10. How much you pay for that? Oh, no, you say pay for the sale funds, but then you can send it for free. That's how it works.
but the animals that are and growing
So you can
so you want them to have that.
Jack, this wasn't Jack's that way. This was some other place. It's just some random place that
Oh, good on
yeah. How'd you done it?
Ladies and gentlemen, what a magnificent lineup of steers here in front of us today. And a credit to the exhibitors, a credit to the producers, a credit to the industry to produce animals like this. That's why I do love the ECA. We can bring composite animals here, and composite animals are what's going to take our beef industry forward. And these people that are exhibiting these around the ring know that better than anyone. We need more composites. We need to get out of just breeding straight bred animals in terms of genetics. If we could get an EBV on this animal here in front of us, who knows where we could take our industry. Now, that's my opinion, but when you look at the composite animals standing in front of you, how can you disagree? Really powerful animal. These two up the top here really drawing straws on who was first and second today, and took me a long time to make that decision. Fantastic big grey animal up there on top. The young lady rattled off about a dozen breeds that was in there, and still forgot the Hereford with the white face, but amazing animal, really strong through that top line. And really the only difference between first and second here was a little bit more cover on the rump and hind quarter of that first place steer than the second one. You know, their depth right through their body was incredible, and the width right down into that hind quarter, very square, very meaty animals, and you know, if you could produce them all day long, you'd be fantastic. This young fella's doing a great job. This is the third time he's been in the ring this morning, and had three fantastic animals today. Met some slightly tougher competition, but that second animal is an amazing animal as well, and just didn't quite have the cover on the first, but really very, very similar type animals there. This third calf leading out did catch my eyes. It came into the ring, and you know, we measure our kids in centimetres and we measure our cattle in kilos, and that's the way it should be. And look at the height of this animal, and it's in this high class. It doesn't have a huge frame score, but the amount of width and depth in that animal makes it like a little brick. So really, really meaty animal, covering good covering right across that animal as well. The thing I'd like to do on that little guy is just stretch him out a little bit. I'd like to see a little bit more length through that top line, like those the two in front of him. Otherwise, a really, really handy animal there in third place. As we lead out here in fourth place, another animal with a power of muscle through that hind quarter. Probably didn't have the cover on that hind quarter that the three above it did, and sat a little higher, that muscle pattern sat a little higher up that back leg, but a really handy calf as well. A huge eye muscle area, nice cover across that top line, very straight-legged, but that won't matter because won't be going much further than the next couple of days, so he made it here. But really, really handy calf. These two highly commendeds here, also fantastic. They've just come up against really stiff competition today. The little Santa Cross there, amazing for a amazingly deep and thick animal. Probably didn't quite have the muscle pattern of those four above him, but still a very, very handy animal, well covered. Might be on the top end of the fat scale probably, but a very handy little animal. And this black one, similar muscle pattern to the ones above him, just didn't quite have that coverage over the hind quarter that the ones above it did, but really square into that shoulder, and a really handy animal. Ladies and gentlemen, put hands together for the exhibitors.
Just before we move on to the champions, ladies and gentlemen, just like to announce the winners of the class 18. And first went to class number 1810, exhibited by Stokes Gabby. Second went to 1809, exhibited by Hayden Beattie. Third went to 1807, GM and KS Clydesdale and St Joseph's College, High School, sorry. And fourth went to 1606, Alexander Stokes. Highly commended was 1804 and 1803 and 1804. 1803 was exhibited by Glen Innes High School. 1804 was exhibited by Kingaroy High School. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to Junior Champion Led Steer. I do call on catalogues number 1610, 1701 and 1810 to please parade before the judge. We also will call out the second place getters in each of those classes, so 1604, 1710 and 1809 to come out for well as well if you are required for reserve.
Ladies and gentlemen, while the championship class is being judged, I would also like to just extend my thanks on behalf of the RNA to our overjudge today, Dr. Peter McGilchrist from Invergary in New South Wales, who has judged our junior lead steer and heifer and will also join us for the prime young judges this afternoon. Peter, just a bit of background further. Peter is an associate professor of meat science at the University of New England and grew up on a beef cattle property south of Tamworth in New South Wales. His research revolves around ensuring global consumer satisfaction of Australian red meat. This research covers all aspects of beef and sheep supply chains, focusing on critical control points, which affects the eating quality of meat from on-farm to the consumer, with a heavy focus on the relationship between production, genetics, and meat quality. Peter is the president of the Australian Intercollegiate Meat Judging Association, where he has had a long association with the training of students in carcass judging. He is a member of the Meat Standards Australia Beef and Sheep Meat Scientific Pathways Committee and Eating Quality Program Manager of the Advanced Livestock Measurement Technologies Project. Peter teaches undergraduate rural science, agricultural and agribusiness students at UNE, and has mainly judged beef and lamb carcass competitions, most notably the Perth Royal Lead Steer and Heifer Comp for 10 years and the New South Wales Northern Schools Lamb competition in 2019 and 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank Dr. Peter McGilchrist for his time this morning and spending significant time working through these classes as he is now doing on the championship class. Thank you.
Oh wait, so this is. I thought this was like maybe.
They have, haven't they?
That's what I thought.
I saw them. No, it must be for two.
I reckon that.
The Angus in the middle of the back, one before the last one.
What time do you get that?
And then
Thanks. We're certainly at the business end of the deal here, the champion, and it's been good cattle in this ring all day, and it makes it really, really interesting to see when you get the three winners of those three classes together, and then try and pick a winner out of those three. So we've had some awesome animals today, and as I talked about all day long, we're looking for carcass value, and value is really delivered through the quantity of meat in that carcass, meeting those fat specifications, and also the quality of that meat. Now, it's hard to determine what quality is under that skin, but certainly, so we've been judging a lot of today on the amount of muscling and the fat cover on it. We've had some striking cattle coming into the ring, and these three here made a really tough decision for champion. But today I'm going to go with the heavyweight.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will have noticed that catalogue number 1809 has now joined the line, while the judge makes his decision on reserve champion. Ladies and gentlemen, if catalogue number 1605 from Tenterfield is available, if one of their handlers could please come to the steward's tent, as it will be required for judging later on today.
Ladies and gentlemen, tough class here. really tight at the top. The champion, out of that heavyweight class, a magnificent steer, long, deep, well covered right across that animal. And it was just his evenness of cover plus his muscle pattern that really got him to the top there. And a very showy calf and beautifully exhibited here today, of course. Amazing calf. If you had a paddock full of those, you'd be totally happy. And I think it was bred by the young lady and her family. So a credit to the owner breeders there. Beautiful composite class. Putting the right genes together from different breeds to get an outcome that they want. And I think that should be celebrated here. It's certainly one of the strengths of the Ekka, and something to be celebrated. That calf, yeah, just amazing. It was tricky. It was a tight competition between the second in that heavyweight and this middleweight champion. I pulled the middleweight champion up into reserve champion here today. He did just have that little more evenness of cover right across, but again, it was really drawing straws between these two fantastic animals. Very similar muscle patterns. This little grey steer, just a little bit littler, but I reckon he's got a bit more eye muscle. Width and depth across that top line than the black guy, and certainly was a little even in fat covering, which drew him up there into that reserve champion position. So well done, and thanks for having me today.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate catalogue number 1810, the champion today exhibited by Gabby Stokes, and our reserve champion today, catalogue number 1701, exhibited by Downlands College. Ladies and gentlemen, they do receive the association sash today, which is being presented by Mr. Ian Galloway from Rona, past beef councillor of the RNA.
Representative from Glen Innes High School, if you could please come to the steward's tent. The handlers of steer number 1803, if one of the students is around. Representative Glen Innes High School, if you're around, could you please come forward? Well, that concludes the judging of the lead steers, junior lead steers. We now go on to inter-school steer young judges competition. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank the judge for today as well, and also our stewards and also the marshalling guys that did a top job as always. Thank you.